And I wrote down our dishonesty and our refusal to be vulnerable and transparent as women. It's working against us, and it's working against us actualizing our desires. So on one end, deep down inside, you want a man. You know you want me booed up. Stop it. You know you do. Okay, you want a man, you want a good man, you want a man to cuddle with. When winter time come, ain't nobody want to be cold in the winter. Okay, you want somebody to keep you warm. You want somebody that you can go to when you need consolation, when you need advice. You just want that masculinity in your space. So if that's what you want, we need to start speaking like that's what we want, and we need to start behaving like that's what we want. The issue that's happening is that our words and our actions does not connect. There is a disconnect there. So you have women saying, I want a husband, I want this type of man, right? But nothing that you're doing, none of your actions, none of the decisions that you are making currently align with that. Okay? Why aren't you guys pursuing things that's going to help you be a better wife? No, you want to go pursue a CNA. You want to go pursue a degree that is only going to make you feel better about yourself, right? Because you have your own insecurities. You have something to prove. And there's not, I'm an educated woman. There's nothing wrong with acquiring degrees, right? But there's something to be said about how we prioritize that over what it is that we say we actually want. So here's the thing. If I so desire, my dream has always been to be a nurse. What do, Abraham? I go to school. I study, right? I surround myself with things that are conducive to where I see myself going. Why can't it be the same for those of us who are desiring to be wives?
Oh man, that was comedy right there. That was pure comedy.
Hold on. I mean, so I'm going to I want to ask, because you hear a lot of this, I am woman, hear me roar, I'm a strong, independent woman, I don't need a man. But behind that strong facade are weak women that, and I don't mean that they're weak in a sense, in a negative way. I mean, it's just they're not as strong as they appear, and they do need to be loved by a man. They do need the affection of a man, but outwardly that's not what they present. So the question that I have for the panel, I'm going to have for you, Miss T, are women like Lonnie Love and a lot of women's girlfriends or best friends keeping them single and lonely with bad advice or misguided advice?
Some of them are, not everyone. I mean, with anything in life, again, your circle, it will determine who you are. And so like Anissa said, if you don't have the right people guiding you and providing you with the right advice or encouragement, then you might end up having some regrets later on in life. I guess I'm a firm believer that sometimes you gotta just take that advice and then talk to yourself about it. You know, what are your goals? What are your dreams? What do you really want? What do you really believe? Not everything that people should be telling you should be how you move. You should be an individual in a sense. I had something to say about independence, but I guess I'll leave that alone for later.
You want go ahead and say something about independence. You seem like you really want to.
No, it was just, I guess when you said that, and I thought about a couple of situations. When you are single, because again, having been married 21 years and then been single for some time, you know, having to do certain things on my own without a man present. I also need men, I guess, to step back for a second and realize not all the time is the woman intentionally doing that. After you get into a certain routine, you just don't think about it. And if you actually step up, depending on the woman, if you've known her for a while, you should feel comfortable to say, hey, I got this. Because like something as simple for me, I love to have my door open. whether it's just the door going into the building, the car, whatever. However, still to this moment, even though I've dated many people, like it's just second nature because I've had to go to my car and open my own door to do it. And I've had my hand slapped like, girl, what you doing? Or, hey, I got it. You know, and I have to say, I'm sorry and step back. That's something I'm going to have to get back in that routine of because I didn't have it for so long.
Yeah, but that's understandable.
And it's not always, yeah, but, you know, it's just, to me, it's all, everything is about communication and conversation. So not all women are trying to be independent. I've made it very clear with anyone that I'm dating and my current boyfriend, I don't want none of that stuff that y'all want to have. He can take it when we get married.
Yeah, but
I have no problem with that.
But that is not the case with a lot of women, and oftentimes you have women telling men that they're independent, that they don't need a man, and I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. I just think it doesn't make sense because even if it's true, why say it? Like, because most men don't need women, but men don't walk around saying that I don't need a woman, right? I mean, what is it about men that you have to put that dagger in his back to let him know that he's nothing to you? And I think it comes from a dark place. But let me go on to Rick. Are women like Lonnie Love and women's girlfriends keeping them lonely and single with misguided advice?
I mean, that's an easy yes. That's definitely an easy yes. Like I said earlier, they're encouraging the foolery, but I'm not going to say like Lonnie Love because we just watched two different Lonnie Loves. We saw the one quote where she was just like, woo, woo. I mean, you know, I'm single and proud of it. And then the next quote, like, you know, now that she booed up, she like, hey, this where it's at. Mm-hmm. So I think she's a great example. If you look at her before and after, she's a great before and after example of what these women are telling each other, you know, they're doing it, I guess, to cope, or I think it's just things that people say. You know, I really don't know where it's coming from, but I know one thing. If you tell me you don't need a man, we done. Like, soon as you say it, because it's not necessary. So you just want to put that in my head. So I'm just going to go off of that. I'm going to treat you as if you don't need a man. You know, I'm not going to say, oh, okay, you said that, we done. But my actions are going to change. You don't need a man. I'm going to remind you of what you said every chance I get. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rico, can you tell me? No. No, you don't need a man. Or it's going to be a fee.
So you have examples. You've seen that. You've seen that quite a few times.
What? Quite a few. This is the thing. I've heard it a lot, but I haven't seen it. In practice, I haven't seen a woman not need a man. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're not going to die or whatever, but I haven't seen it in practice. I hear people say it all the time, but then they need a man. You know, hey, they get a flat tire. Hey, they need a TV mounted. They need a ceiling fan hung. They need just whatever. I don't know, whether it's somebody to pay for dinner or somebody just to be in their ear making them feel good. You know, a lot of women say they don't need men, but then they thirst trapping all up and down Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And they doing it for the, you know, for the attention of men. So you say you don't need men, but everybody like that validation too. It feels good for somebody when you know somebody's paying you attention and celebrating your efforts.
Right.
So it's a lot of reasons why we need each other. But I don't know why a lot of women feel the need to say they don't need men, because I still just don't see it in practice. I just hear them talking. I see them leaning on men all the time. Mm-hmm. they want to do the receiving part, but they're not giving. You know, it's a lot of receiving and not giving. So if you stay single, you can get favors and gifts and stuff from all over the place, and you ain't got to do nothing. Right. And so I can see where they would say, I don't want to settle down because they got 20 dudes paying into their lives. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really a tough choice for a woman to settle down nowadays, because I do recognize that a lot of guys are doing a lot of women a lot of favors and not getting anything in return. Yeah. You know, I myself have done that.
You've been that guy.
Huh?
You've been that guy.
I just look at it as something small. They call me and say, hey, you know, whatever, I need a jump.
Well, I mean, you're a nice guy.
Yeah, and a dummy. And a dummy.
Hanifa, Maad said, you know, if you say it enough times, you start to believe it. The I don't need a man, that I'm strong and independent. Do you concur with that? Before you answer the question, the question that I posed to the panel, do you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
We can't hear you.
I'm on mute. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My apology. Yes, the answer is yes. It depends on who the friends are. Married women should not be taking advice from their single friends who are struggling in the dating market. That's just, I mean, it just is what it is. You can love them, but when it comes to your, like if you're in a relationship, you got to be very careful how you discuss your relationships. A lot of us have close friends who are single. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we know. Okay, so here's my thing, Abraham. If I could just be honest, I was listening to Lonnie, and I know we were all laughing because it was like, this is Lonnie on Monday, and then come Wednesday, reality hit, you know. And so it was a little humorous. I'm sorry, but listening to her talk, you know what came to my mind? Women, we are so blasted dishonest. We are so dishonest. Oh my gosh, we are so dishonest. Like, we really do some nonsense and then we play the damsel in distress when, you know, our day of reckoning comes. Okay, we are the ones that are putting the things in place for the outcome that we are getting. But when the outcome comes, we're like, oh my, woe is me. Whoever will save me. Like, it's like, no, sis, where's the accountability? Like, and I'm big on this. We have to start having honest conversations as women. And to connect it to what my aunt is saying, honesty. Okay, here's what I believe. I believe that we create our reality in the sense of you constantly keep saying, and when I say universe, I'm not speaking out there. I'm speaking on a cellular level here. This is science, okay? This is science to where you can actually change your behavior by the way you think, okay? So you start constantly talking about, I don't need a man. I mean, years. You're doing this for years. After a while, the cells in your body, right, begins to cooperate with that. Oh, this is what we're doing. So that's the type of energy we're going to give off now, right? So your aura now, or your energy field now becomes one that repels men, because that is your thought process. That is your thought process. So that's why when you're in public, you can't even crack a smile when a man is like just trying to be kind to you. You know, you can't you kind of have to be combative all the time. You know, feel the need to constantly correct men just because they're men, not because they're wrong in what they're saying, right? So there's a lot of factors that contribute to that. And I wrote down our dishonesty and our refusal to be vulnerable and transparent as women. It's working against us, and it's working against us actualizing our desires. So on one end, deep down inside, you want a man. You know you want to be booed up. Stop it. You know you do. Okay, you want a man, you want a good man, you want a man to cuddle with. When winter time come, ain't nobody want to be cold in the winter. Okay, you want somebody to keep you warm. You want somebody that you can go to when you need consolation, when you need advice. You just want that masculinity in your space. So if that's what you want, we need to start speaking like that's what we want, and we need to start behaving like that's what we want. The issue that's happening is that our words and our actions does not connect. There is a disconnect there. So you have women saying, I want a husband, I want this type of man, right? But nothing that you doing, none of your actions, none of the decisions that you are making currently align with that. Okay? Why aren't you guys pursuing things that's going to help you be a better wife? No, you want to go pursue a CNA. You want to go pursue a degree that is only going to make you feel better about yourself, right? Because you have your own insecurities. You have something to prove. And there's not, I'm an educated woman. There's nothing wrong with acquiring degrees, right? But there's something to be said about how we prioritize that over what it is that we say we actually want. So here's the thing. If I so desire, my dream has always been to be a nurse. What do, Abraham? I go to school. I study, right? I surround myself with things that are conducive to where I see myself going. Why can't it be the same for those of us who are desiring to be wives? Why are we not doing that? Why are we not around other married people? Why are we still trying to turn up at 39 and 45 in Miami and still sitting down talking about you want a husband? Where you gonna find him? In the ocean? Where? So for me, it boils down to we have trust issues, and we need to acknowledge that as women and have the conversation about that. And I want to say one more thing to what Rico had said earlier to the grandparents and our mothers and stuff. Here's what a lot of us don't realize, and we didn't need to realize it because we were children. A lot of our grandparents and stuff, women, grandmothers, even grandfathers, but since we're talking about women, we're going to leave it there, was suffering, quote unquote, suffering in silence. They felt trapped. So what they were doing were they were advising the next generation, right, to not make the decisions that I made. Go get yours so that you don't feel as trapped as I do right now. Not say it's nothing against our grandmothers. Okay, some of us, we had some dope grandmothers. That's not what I'm talking about. You can be a good grandmother and still be miserable in your marriage. I know people who grandparents slept in separate beds for years since they known themselves. She wasn't getting no ding-a-ling. He wasn't getting no noosh-noosh. They were just existing. They were staying married. And so a lot of us, we look at that as a template and say, well, we look at the longevity of it. But we don't look at the intricacies and the things that were taking place in all of that. And so for us, we romanticize that era. Right? And it's like, why you can't be like your grandmother? You know what I'm saying? So there's a conversation even to be had around that. But yes, your single friends who are miserable, let's be clear, your single friends who are miserable and they are not single by choice. And let's be clear, it's a small percentage of us out here that are single by choice. That single by choice narratives we're trying to push is a very small percentage of us. The rest of us are using that rhetoric as a coping mechanism for our loneliness and for our hurt and for our misery. It's a very small percentage. So I know I said a mouthful, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
No, I mean, I'm gonna, if I don't walk away with anything else, I'll walk away with a new term for vagina, noosh noosh. I've never heard that, but noosh noosh.
Yeah, she got us all on that one, I think.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah. Hey, Ray.
Don't even Google it. It's done. She said it.
She put the stamp on it.
She used it in a sentence. We all know what it is.
Noosh noosh. Hey, Ray, how about you? Women like Lonnie Love and all these celebrities who talk about they don't need a man and they're independent, and Cardi B talking about she don't cook, she don't clean, but she knows what to do to get that ring, and all these celebrities who push this.
Lies.
who push this. I'm fierce. I'm independent. I'm single by choice. Along with women's friends, are they responsible for them?
Absolutely. First of all, I need Hanifa to stop taking my arguments. Let's start off with the basics. I can't really say much about. I came over here to disagree in some shape, form, or fashion, but she keeps on doing this, and you don't have to tell her stop. I agree with her 150%, man.
Yeah.
I mean, women. I said this before. I said this 1,000 times. In middle school, when you want your boy, you see the guy with the Penny Hardaways, you got to have the Penny Hardaways. You follow your friends. A lot of your friends, you do some of the stuff you shouldn't do. Follow your friends because of peer pressure. Women continue peer pressure all the way to their grown-up ages. Like they 40 and 50, and they homegirls determine a lot of their opinions. We've all, I tell you, we've all been out to a club at some point and approached a group of women. When you see a fine one in that group and you approach by yourself, them women gonna eat you up. Why? Not because she don't like you, but because her homegirls are looking at you like, who is this guy? No, you can't go home with, because all of them are acting funny. They will eat you up alone. If you don't have a wingman, you'll get ate up, because guess what? Even though she might be on you, her homegirls is gonna make sure that she go home with them. Women, this whole peer pressure, I said this a lot of times. I've been saying this for 20 years. Women follow their friends. So the only group of people that can correct women's behavior are women. And she said that correctly. Mothers did fail. They did not teach them the correct way to act like women. And when you look at some of these old Mexican homes, old black homes, that's back 50s, 40s, before, those women used to not only serve the men, the fathers, but they would also have to serve the brothers. They would have to put the brothers' plate on the table, do things like that to show, that this was teaching them how to cope with men, how to deal with men. But they don't do anything remotely close to that anymore. Like this is a mother's job to show by example, not just to tell, because you can tell them one thing, but if you show them by example, they'll grow up and be like this. But once you get them to a grown-up age, it's no turning back. It's no turning back. So it's women's fault to not only teach from a kid, but after they become adults, then you have other women that keep each other accountable. And we all know that women are not keeping each other accountable. We know that the most ridiculous ideas they come up with, they hear from their friends and they listen. I'll tell you something. If I go home, if I pick up a woman from the club and my homeboy's with me, nobody's going to say, nah, you going home with us. What group of have you ever met that said, hey, man, I'm gonna take this chick back to the house? No, you leave. You came here with us. You leave it with us. That's how women talk. You say, good job, or she fine, or well, friend. You don't say stay with us. All the things that women do. So you just gotta understand that the onus on this whole situation is on other women. We can't say anything. And I'm gonna say in particular, black women. Nobody can say anything to a sister. Nobody. The brothers can't say nothing to her. Women are not going to say anything to her. The only way this is going to get cleaned up, if y'all decide, nah, girl, that's wrong. You can't do that shit. That's stupid. It's very important for you to do that. If you don't do that, we're going to continue snowballing. That's just what it is. We're going to continue. And the only group of people who benefit from this behavior are the men. Men benefit from this behavior because it allows me to still be single. And the last thing you want a man like me to be is single. That is the last thing you want me to be. But you know what that means? That means free. You know what that means? That means I get to keep my money. You know what that means? That means you got to spend your money. It all goes together. When men are single, they save more money. When women are in relationships, they save more money. What is that telling you? It's very important that you understand who's coming out on top from this. You got to understand who's winning. I'm winning in this situation because I would be a fantastic husband. I'm a provider. I do everything that I'm supposed to do. And guess what? I will benefit more by keeping my money, keeping my freedom, and keeping these women coming over. I'm winning in all aspects. Women are I guess they feel like they're winning until they're 45 years old. Now they're looking for me. Not only are they looking for me, now they 25-year-old daughter looking for me too.
Right.
Now you got to compete with her. It's messed up, but it's true.
Right.
It's true. Oh my God! Keep on, man. I hope we get it back together because nothing better than a black woman.
Yeah.